Yay.
Dun, 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 dun. This is Bedrock Business Builders workshop about getting paid now, getting paid today, getting paid faster. You know, we just want to see the money. Whatever it is, however you're doing it, I'm sure there's a way to improve it. Even when we're trying to invoice people and get paid, we're always working on trying to improve it and up the ante, get better at negotiating, make it so we're not missing any steps, whatever it is, however we're doing it. And that's why we've got Joe DeChara, the CPA extraordinaire, to help us get paid now. All right. Not just within Bedrock Business Builders, but with our clients too. And you know, there's got to be some persuasive element to getting paid. And you got to know what you want when you're getting paid. And that's why we got Susan in the room too.
We want to make it easy. We don't want you to need persuasion. I've tried that. It's not, sometimes it works, but it's not fun and people could get hurt. So
oh, well, I don't know what kind of persuasive tactics
we don't
using.
want, you know, Sammy, we don't want Sammy the Bull doing your collections.
No.
We're not doing kneecaps, right?
Yeah. So this is and our philosophy, like I was just telling Vet, our client, I just got off a meeting with Vet. We keep everything simple, stress-free, simple. I had another meeting with the client, Glenn Bullos, and Vet. You know, it's not surprising that small business owners go through a lot of stress, right, Susan?
Mm-hmm.
And stress is not good for anyone, for anything. If you could find out what stress is good for, well, there's different kinds of stress, but stress when you're under pressure, I think is not good.
Some people thrive on stress.
Some people, you know, and I said that the other day. I said chaos was my favorite word because I love the chaos. The chaos of accounting. It's like I grew up in it. Because I could control the chaos. That's my, but it's not, so the chaos is not stressful for me though.
So, you know, me, I survived 40 years of ER, which was pure stress.
Yeah, so you, and
I loved it.
I told the accounting team today that we're closing the emergency room. And we said, when there's an accounting emergency, if they need the emergency room, we're going to send them to you.
Oh.
So everything that we do this is our philosophy, because I've worked in accounting with accounting firms before I started my own for over 15 years. And I said, I need to get out of this place. These people are they're too stressed out.
Well, I mean, I will tell you that, you know, any negotiation dealing with money or finance is stressful. Because I'll give you an example. So yesterday, you know, I helped the boys move into their apartment and they delayed their moving in for another week. Okay. So, but we still had to pay the deposit and the full month's rent. So then they gave them a negotiated prorated for the month of November. But it's still due November 1st, which means that not only did they have to pay the deposit and the first month's rent, they have to pay the second month's rent, which is prorated in 2 weeks. And it's like, wait a minute, that doesn't seem fair. And it's not fair, but you know, it's a big corporation dealing with two kids.
So you just lost me. I'm confused, and I'm an accountant. That's too many prorations on top of delays. And we just told Vet, we're like, okay, this year we're getting everything up to date. So there's no more stress. There's no more, you know, waiting. And this year her tax return will be done stress-free.
Well, you know, I've always said there's no emergencies in accounting because.
Oh, I said that.
Well, we agree.
No,
Oh.
it is I who said that there's no emergencies in accounting, okay? And this is where this is true. Corporations want you to ante up way before they're delivering service,
Right.
okay? And that's a strategy. So what that moving company did, or the leasing company did with the grandsons, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that is standard practice a lot of times within these businesses. That is nothing new. And 3 months rent right before you even move in, whew, I hope you have 10 grand, okay? At least in order to move in anywhere at this point. So this is where we're going to go right into the meat and the potatoes. We need to know who this workshop is for, who it's not for, what we're doing. And for the people who just showed up into the room, we're talking about getting paid now. We're talking about making it simple, making it, well, see, there's a difference between easy and simple, okay? And we've been taught this before by a previous speaker, that sometimes we want to make things easy, but nothing worth having comes easy, right? It's all got to be hard. But this is where, even though it's hard, it can be simple. The steps can be laid out. There can be a process and a procedure that make it so you don't have to think too hard to get done what you need to get done. And even if you do, you can change it a little bit. You can alter it. You can prorate it like what that leasing company did. And you can make it all sound like champagne and strawberries at your new apartment, okay? In the hot tub, Susan. That's where you want to have it, right? In the hot tub.
Absolutely.
You want to make it so they're actually happy to pay you.
Yeah. I just
Right.
yeah, we do want to make it so people are happy to pay you. Yeah. So this is where, Joe, who is this workshop for?
Well,
Who should be happy
first,
to get paid?
No, I think you skipped over something here. I'm going to show you what I do. Elizabeth likes H breaths, right?
I
But
do
I
like
like
H breath.
this. And what is this? This is my massage gun.
Who's that?
And I recommend this for everybody. It's
All right, I'm spotlighting you for that one.
yeah. So I'm not, I'm transparent. And actually my girlfriend is a professional. Okay, she does it for a living. She actually teaches other people how to do, deep tissue massages, Thai massage. And when I showed this to her, usually she says, "Why did you waste your money on this?" And no, she wanted me to buy her one.
Mm.
And then her friend who owns a spa wanted one too. I ordered it and her friend gave her the $70. So I paid for it, and yeah,
Joe, somehow you're missing the process and the order of
well,
operations.
I think that she made a meeting with Susan, and she always gets what she wants from me. But let's go back. But that's just, the point is, and just like Elizabeth, I love how you start all of the meetings, all the workshops with that. You got to stretch. And I just told one of the sessions with our students, as I said, even athletes do this, speakers do this. Any professional, before they start, you'll see them. Even so, I'll tell you, the baseball playoffs are on, and if you're in another country, like I see some of our team members, some of our students are here. If you don't know what baseball is, it's just a big sport. Okay, and you watch the pitcher, the guy throwing the ball, and you'll see them in situations, and they'll go like this. They're taking deep breaths. And it was like, oh, they must have heard this from Elizabeth. So
yeah.
So in business, in everything, you want to take a deep breath, okay, before you do anything, and that relieves this. It releases what? Oxycontin.
See, it's not Oxycontin, okay? Joe, you need to get that word out your vocabulary. It is
Not release
oxytocin.
Oxytocin, yeah, that's what I said.
It's oxytocin for
Okay,
certain. And to do that, you have to do the ahs at the end. Okay, so it's not even just the breaths. So, and you don't hear the baseball players doing it, but I bet they're doing it too. Is when you take that breath in your nose and your mouth, you then go ah. Ooh, Ooh, I needed one of those. Ah, yeah, that sound, it matters. That's how you getting the adrenal glands in the back of your head to vibrate, okay? That's how you're letting that love hormone release all through your body. And when you're asking for money, you've got to love what you're doing, okay? You got to believe that you deserve that money, you want that money, you're going to get that money.
So let's go to the slideshow, and I hope Vet is listening to this, because she was just telling us that it's so stressful dealing with money and taxes. And I'm like, it's stressful for us too, and we're we're the accountants, you know. So we feel you. We know what you feel like. So that's why this is for you. This is, if you're here, it's for you. Yes.
Thanks for busting me out. Thank you. Yes, I'm here.
Yes. I'm not calling you up, but I want you to know that you're not alone. Everybody has stress, and you know, we learn how to deal with it. I teach a lot of people how to do accounting and taxes with American business owners. And when they first start, they're like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. This is stress. Well, welcome to the real world. Welcome to accounting. Welcome to business ownership. So if that is you, this is for you. Okay. If you're in business and you want to learn how to get paid faster. Okay.
You can't get paid when you got a bag on your head, okay? I don't know about all that.
Okay, you just made a mistake. You're gonna have to come to all our workshops now and be the fun part of it. So yeah, if you want to, and it's not just getting paid, okay? It's getting paid faster, because guess what that does? It speeds up your cash flow. You need two things for any business. You need sales and you need cash flow. So don't just go out there selling stuff. Make sure you're getting paid. And we're going to show you different ways, out of the box ways that you may not have ever thought of to get paid. And not just get paid, put money in your pocket. How about that? How about you can put money in your pocket by not paying? Okay, by delaying your payments or cutting what you're paying. Okay, we have a good friend, Eldonna, who teaches people how to think like a negotiator. Okay, she actually goes to retail places and negotiates the price on like, who does that? She does.
Well, yeah, especially when you're buying wholesale, you have the ability to do that. And a lot of times when she's going and she's purchasing things via wholesale. And in business, when you're purchasing things via wholesale, having the ability to negotiate is key. All right. And
yeah, and really the only thing that's different from us is that her mindset.
That's true.
She says, I can, so I will. What's the worst that could happen? They say no.
Yeah.
Go to another store. Okay, what you will leave with, if you haven't already gotten some, you're going to leave with some out of the box, new ideas, maybe some old ideas that you forgot about. Hopefully, if you're like me, I like to leave a workshop with something that I can do now. Okay, I don't want to do a workshop and then say, oh, 6 months from now I can use this. I want you to start thinking about how you can, as we're going through the slides, think about how this can help you right now. Okay, next slide, please. Also, you're going to leave with some belly laughs, I think. Because one of our core values is fun. I think that's our top core value, Elizabeth. You know,
it is a very important value. You know, you got to have fun doing what you do. And this is where I hang out with Joe. And if you don't know why Joe is here or why Joe is here to teach you or why I hang out with Joe and I think it's so much fun, is because he's got like a lot of experience more than I've been alive, to be honest, which
Hard
is
to- yeah, I started this before Elizabeth was born. It's kind of fun, because when I could tell people that challenge me and say, listen, I've been doing this since before you were even born. Not that that matters, to be honest with you, but it's pretty powerful. Just because I've been doing something for so long doesn't mean
you've been around the block there, Joe. You've got street
yeah.
experience, okay?
Not-
And you're not just capping kneecaps in order to get.
No, so the truth is that I have directly worked with thousands of business owners. Really, when it comes down to it, Elizabeth pointed this out to me, it was really just helping them create a foundation for their business and tricking them into creating accounting systems. And that's what, I just sort of did in a nutshell with VET. I showed her how to download, CSV files. That's an accounting system, and anything that makes it simple or easier for you to do your business, that's what I'm here for. That's what I've been doing for over 40 years now. And what does that do? It gets them a little bit closer to success. And like I said, generating positive cash flow, because that's really the name of the game. I've seen businesses, plenty of them, making a lot of profits, but not having any cash. So imagine that you're doing what you always planned on doing. You're like, oh, I got all these clients, all this revenue, and I'm more broke than when I started. That's no fun.
Yeah, we've even seen businesses that overextend themselves. Like they don't understand what their true overhead is for the cost of the service that they're providing, or for the insurance, or for other aspects of their business. And then they're just not charging enough. Right. So that
They could be.
awareness that they could be charging more. Right. And this is where, if they have an awareness of all those things, if they've got that system set up, then they're ready to go. Right. And this is where, Joe, you just do it naturally. It's your natural inclination to help people set those things up. I don't even think really you're thinking too hard about it at this point, because
No,
it's simple
like,
for you,
well,
right?
it only you do something a couple of 100,000 times, and that's what it becomes. What did my friend call it? Unconscious competence. It's like, and that becomes a problem for somebody like me, because when I want somebody to do something, like, why can't they understand what I'm telling them? And it's because I've done it so many times, I actually forgot all the steps. So then if you ever want to learn something, try teaching it to a 5th grader, or not even a 5th grader anymore. Try teaching it to a 5-year-old, because kids now, that 3-year-old, my granddaughter knows how to watch YouTube videos.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that because has anybody noticed on our messaging system now, we can ask people for money. We can ask people for money on Facebook Messenger. We can
Oh
ask
yeah,
people
that's
for
kind of
money.
scary.
It is scary.
So
I'm sure that my
send
girls.
I send my daughter requests for money all the time, and I never get an answer. I don't know why, but I'm like, I need money. But yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to get paid. A lot.
All right, Joe, can we name off some of the different ways we get paid, or how people
Oh
get
my
paid?
God. So you could still actually, if you want to complain about all the charges that you get charged, like I do, I don't like paying all those merchant fees. You could actually still get checks. Believe it or not, you could get checks. And we actually we have a client that came up with a creative way to get checks. He prints them. He actually, and the banks accepted them. So what he does is he sends his client a blank, like a templated check, and they fill in their account number, their routing number. I guess they electronically sign it. He prints it, goes to the bank, and they accept it.
Bada bing, bada boom. That sounds like the
and
you're printing your own money right there.
I'm not recommending you do it, but he said that they haven't had a problem yet. So that's out of the box, but you could actually have a client mail you a check. I know that sounds crazy, but people still do it. Okay. And here's one of the things, if you're getting a large check, okay, because if you're taking money through, like we get paid through QuickBooks, through PayPal, through Stripe, they take a pretty large percentage. So if you're getting paid $10,000, that's going to cost you over 300. That's a lot of change. So think about it. If you're going to get paid a large amount, 1,000, 1,500, you might want to just tell them to send you a check. It's worth the wait. Okay. The most important thing, and I learned this a long time ago, they actually taught us this in accounting school, that especially in the retail industry, you want to make it easy for people to pay you. The more ways that you have to get paid, the more likelihood that you're going to get paid faster. Okay, now not everybody is in a retail business like us. Okay, we get paid, for professional services. Nothing is in that like saying, oh, I want this off the shelf, and God forbid somebody like Eldonna came into our store because I'd be like, yeah, just whatever you want, just get out of here. Don't talk to any of our clients. But you want to give them the best options that fits your business. Okay. So you want to have a system. And again, we talk about systems a lot. Susan teaches systems. It's how businesses scale, how they grow. Not only that, it's how they become profitable. Okay. So look at your business as if you're a client. How would you pay them?
Well, yeah. So this is where there's a couple different ways we could do that, right, Joe? We can make it so they've got a buy now button on their website, right? We've got it so you can email invoices, and you can email the invoices through different platforms, whether it be Intuit, QuickBooks, Wave apps. You could do it via PayPal. Now, are all these things recommended? I don't know. If you like paying merchant fees, perhaps you could do it all that way, right? But the way that Joe said, where you get the checks or you do the ACH payments, or you try and get people to directly deposit funds into your account, oh, those are good ways to do it. But you want to have that buy now button. You want to make it easy. You want to make it so people could potentially pay with credit cards if they have to pay with credit cards. And that's a different button on QuickBooks. Okay. If you're invoicing on QuickBooks, there's a way at the top to make it so they have the ability to either pay only via their bank account and an ACH payment, or via credit card. Okay. And then on top of all of that, do you know what they can do now, Joe, on websites? Like, say you have a big ticket item on your website and you're like, man, how is somebody going to pay 5 to 10 grand? Or even if it's a small amount. I'm talking about Dyson does this on their website, and Dyson's products are all about give or take $1,000, right? They let you pay via a firm. Now, a firm is a company that makes it so they're financing, and it's just built into their website. And when that happens, the company, a firm, or the company that they're paying you outright. They're paying the service provider up front, and then you're utilizing a firm, or you're utilizing the person's credit card company, and they're going to collect the rest of the payments, right? But you, as the service provider, you get those payments right up front. All right, so that's a simple way of doing it. That's a payment system.
That's a good point. I know people that had, and Susan knows some of our friends, they have high price coaching programs. And what they do, they go to an outside company and they offer, listen, if you can't pay this, so they're not financing it, they're getting a company like a firm to, and it could be seamless. It could be seamless. So we've been talking about collection costs, and I know Regina, hi Regina, I see you there. Regina is one of our favorite clients because she pays us every month on time, and that's important. But Regina pays a lot of money in merchant fees, okay, a lot. And there's ways to reduce those fees. First of all, what you should know is the whole merchant world is competitive. Very, very competitive. They all want your business. And you could actually negotiate with them. You could say, listen, I love you, but not enough to overpay you. I have another company willing to do this for less. Can you do any better? Okay. I'll tell you a painful experience that I had with my bank. I have 3 bank accounts with TD Bank, and they were killing me on, I was paying like $90 a month in bank charges. So I said, you know what? Citibank has a program where it's only $10 a month, no matter what my balance is. So I go into TD Bank. I said, listen, it's not you, it's me. I have to break up with you. I'm in love with Citibank now. And they were like, oh, let's go through your account. I walked out of there with, now my bank charges are only $30 a month. All I had to do was go in there and ask. Actually, I threatened to take all my money out. They don't like that. So, and that, so it was painful because I said, for years, I've been paying them these bank charges. And meanwhile, all I had to do was tell them I want, because guess what? They have the secret, it's like an Animal House where they had the double secret probation. It's like the banks have these deals that they'll give you later on.
It's like ordering things that are off the menu.
Right. It's like, listen, can you give me the special client? And then all of a sudden you become the gold client. You're like, oh, you've been a client for over 3 years now. You qualify for this. Meanwhile, we qualified as soon as we walked in. We just didn't know it. So you could go to the merchants, okay, and negotiate a better rate, okay? And if that don't work, go shopping. I have a friend who I used to, when I was doing credit cards, we don't take credit cards anymore, but she had a much better rate than what I was getting. So I went to her. Also, she explained all the rates to me. It was because those collection costs add up. Okay. Also, like Elizabeth said, with somebody like QuickBooks, okay, I didn't realize this. They will charge us 3.5% and only 1% if it's ACH. Okay. So we encourage our clients to go with ACH. Okay. If they don't, we charge them a little extra to cover that merchant fee. Why? I don't like doing that, but it's getting out of hand to the point where I also found, and I put it in the link, another company called Go Cardless. Now they do ACH payments, but get this, their maximum fee is $2.50. So even with QuickBooks, if somebody pays me $1,000, it's only 1% to a maximum of $10, which is a lot less than the $35 I would have paid them if I took it by even debit card. So it's debit card and credit. They're charging me 3.5%.
And this is where having an awareness of the merchant fees that you're paying is essential. A lot of times I think in accounting it's forgotten because we get money in, we count it all as income, right? I've invoiced Eldonna for $1,000, right? And then I did it through PayPal. I got paid through PayPal. PayPal took a good chunk of that $1,000. Now, did I account in my accounting for the merchant fee? I don't know. And a lot of businesses, when they're doing their own taxes or when they're doing their own accounting, they're not going to think to themselves, ooh, I really shouldn't be paying taxes on the merchant fees. That should be a business expense that isn't counted towards my income. right?
Well, you wanna know, you brought up a good point, because also the thing with these credit card processors is you're gonna get a 1099-K from them. People that never got them before, because the IRS lowered the threshold to, if you just do $600 or more, you're gonna get a 1099-K. It used to be 20,000 plus 200 transactions. So a lot of people didn't get them. I had clients with Airbnb, they didn't get anything, even though they were like, oh no, we had 190 transactions, so they didn't get a 1099. But what's happening now, and and I saw this in one of my accounting articles, a lot of people go on a cash basis. So they'll charge, $1,000 and get 950, let's say. Okay, so they're reporting 950. Well, the credit card company is going to give you a 1099 for 1,000. Now, if you're only reporting the 950, you're going to get, I used to say you get a letter from the IRS. No, you get a bill. They say, hey, you didn't report $50. Meanwhile, it's just like you said, Elizabeth, really, you got to be reporting the 1,000 and then taking the $50 off as a merchant charge.
Well, yeah, because in that 1099-K that they're going to give you, they're not taking out the merch fee.
No,
They're giving
no,
you a
no.
1099-K based on the whole amount.
I could see this being a big problem for especially people that do a lot of just credit card transactions, because they're going to be shocked. They're going to be, because believe me, accounting firms aren't on top of us.
But this
Believe
is where if you get your profit and loss statement from Bedrock Business Builders through our CFO package, don't you know that we have a thing that tells you how much you're paying in merchant fees?
Well, also, yeah, so not everybody's going to be on top of it like that, and we realize it. So what we do is we say, listen, let's see those 1099-Ks. So when they come in, Regina, that make sure we get them. Okay. Here's another idea. Get
Another
paid.
game changer. Thank you.
Yeah. So try to get paid up front if you can. Okay, we do some big projects, meaning clients come to us, they haven't filed in 5 years, believe it or not. We had a client that didn't file in 10 years. Now I'm talking about people with regular W-2 jobs. The one with 10 years is one of the most bizarre cases I've ever seen, because usually the IRS will prepare the return for you, and they prepare it in the least favorable way. So we got paid. I said, hey, if she waited 10 years to file her returns, what's to stop her from waiting 10 years to pay us? So we asked her for a 50% deposit on 3 years. She paid us, and then guess what? We haven't heard from her since. It might be another 10 years. But, we put time and effort into it. She gave us the deposit, and now when she's ready, because I know from experience, it's going to catch up with her. So then she'll come back to us, and when she does, we'll be ready to help her. But,
this is when you get paid up front. It's important then to kind of have some sort of contract or have something in writing so everybody knows what their deliverables are or what the expectation is, and what is the policy if someone doesn't actually go through with the service. What if they're canceling? How long do they have to cancel? Can they cancel? Is it non-refundable? If they cancel, is there like a restocking fee, right, that they have to pay for? This is where getting paid up front is completely, it's like seeing a rainbow on a rainy day, I think,
Well,
sometimes, right?
So for us, we pay, it's not like I can't tell Luz, oh, we had a bad month. Can I pay you next month? So we have overhead. We have to pay our bills too. So by getting, at least half up front, at least we're covering our overhead. So yeah, and you have a good point. You have to have your terms written out in your contract. Every one of our clients have a contract. In that case, with the woman that paid us up front, if she asked us for a refund, I would give it to her. But, you know, she hasn't. We've reached out to her. Oh, I just got a message from Liz. I thought she was going to ask us if we're going to get paid this month.
Goodness gracious.
So yeah, so if you're an employee, if you're one of our team, we don't pay you half up front. You have to work the whole week. But this is an approach that a lot of people don't even think about. Okay, you want anything that's going to speed up your cash flow. Okay, ask a client for a small deposit is not the end of the world. Okay, you could tell them what I just said. A lot of times, and it doesn't happen, you know, it's statistically a fact. People will ask us to do stuff, we will onboard them, we will, you know, spend time and effort, use our resources, and then they'll ghost us. So by asking them for, in fact, last year, we decided even to do a proposal, we're gonna ask them for a $75 fee that will be applied to their contract, to their invoice, if they accept it. If they don't, it's ours. I don't know why we stopped doing that, Elizabeth.
I don't know why either, Joe. I put it in Slack the other week. I was like, what happened to the $75 invoice?
I know.
Right? I like
yeah.
that $75 because it means that somebody's really serious about what they're doing. They're not going to sit there and waste your time as an expert. And I think that's real important because then you're also working with someone who's hot. Right? We talk about cold leads and then we talk about warm leads. What about a hot lead? What about someone you know who's itching to do business with you? Well, that's the most beneficial relationship you could potentially be in. And if they're willing to put down that deposit, then it demonstrates their effectiveness with working with you to a degree, right? They're showing you, oh yeah, I'm all in and I'm going to keep doing this. The other thing that it does is it feels good. All right. Sometimes it is about feelings.
And it's not, you know, $75 isn't going to change anybody's life, you know, so, but it gives them some skin in the game. So I know Regina does a lot of and if you want to answer, Regina, if you could, because I'm curious. I know that you do a lot of detail work. I see you, and I see that you have plans, I think, behind you. Regina does kitchens and baths.
Now I'm unmuted. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, so you do kitchens and baths, and you're like an artist. You're like an architect. You're over there designing their whatever you're building for them. Do they pay you for that? Or do you just give it to them?
Well, I don't give any drawings out until things are finalized and I receive a deposit. No drawings.
So I would tell you, get the deposit before you even start that.
Well, it's kind of hard because this day and age, listen, there's a million kitchen and bath places.
Yeah.
So my design is free. I will design your kitchen for free, but you're not getting the drawings or anything until I receive a deposit.
All right. We'll have a conversation about this. Just be prepared. But I don't see why you can ask them for $100 deposit. I don't care if there's a million.
They won't pay. They won't pay.
Tell them that it's not worth your time. You tell them what.
I don't know.
If they're serious, all right. Look at all the people you've done designs for that never did the work. Imagine if you got $100 from all of them. Okay.
I have a lot more that I have sold than I have not sold.
Oh, I believe you. I believe.
You know, I mean, it's a toy.
Okay, so you froze there, but
they will not, because they don't know what they're getting. They don't know if they're going to buy. Even if you say, you know, it's $100, but will be bought, you know, once you purchase it, it'll be taken off of, you know, the purchase price, but
All right.
nope, you're not
It's a
getting money out of
suggestion.
people.
We will, we're gonna have to work
Interior design is a rough business right now, Joe. My aunt
I
did
know.
that for years. She would do lots of
It's
different
very
design
rough.
work and everything. And she was relying on making the money off of like the furniture or the stuff that she was placing in there more than
Listen,
her
I'm not
design work.
saying it's normal
It's just
business
it's in the
practices, but
industry. This is where you got to change the
like,
industry, right?
yeah, you gotta be a trendsetter. We think outside the box, Regina.
Or what you could do is increase your fees, right?
Well, I think it goes by the amount of time that you put into somebody, because it's not necessarily the design, it's the customer that needs the attention, not the design. So the design might only take me, say, 2 or 3 hours to do, but I have invested maybe 8 hours in the customer because of the meetings and the selections and all that kind of stuff. So my time is money. So
Yeah,
that will
that's why we're
reflect,
telling you to get paid for that.
well, it will reflect on what my price is gonna be.
So
know?
she will, at that point, she will have a good idea of the temperament of the client that she's working
Right.
with, how much time, additional time she's
All right,
going to
let's-
need to
Let's
implement
make
that
this
thing.
simple. I understand. All I'm saying is, listen, for us, we're gonna ask for the $75 because not for nothing, I'm spending at least.
You went from 100 to 75 now, Joe.
No, that's what I told you to charge because you're doing $20,000, $30,000 kitchens.
Yeah,
Now, I'm looking for somebody that can afford to pay us X amount of dollars for a month.
right.
And the $75, and I don't care, even if it was $50, I want them to have some kind of skin in the game.
right.
That's the concept.
You never
I
know until you ask.
But I can't even get them away from paying with a credit card to paying with a check. Trying to save some of the fees. I even give them if you don't use a credit card, I'll give you a additional discount. They want to use their credit card.
Maybe you have the wrong clients.
That's just everybody.
You got to,
Everybody.
yeah, lots of people, they do want to pay with credit cards, and this is where there's a give and take with any of this, right? With all of the different tips and tricks and techniques that there are, or the ways to think outside of the box to get more cash into your bank account, to get more funds within your business, well, you've got to think about, well, who is your client? What are they going to withstand? Can they withstand it? Will they comply with it? And then if they don't, is it worth it? Is it worth fighting for those merchant fees? Or should we just increase our fee and not even talk about the merchant fees, right? We just increase the fee from the get-go, thinking that that's then part of our overhead. Then we can also think to ourselves, like what Regina is doing is she's meeting with the client, knowing their temperament, and then going, oh, well, when I invoice them or I show them this, I'm going to definitely make sure I've got a higher fee than, say, somebody who just looked at my drawings or said, oh, do this, do what you want, and then didn't meet with me and have a huge problem. So this part, increasing your fees, this is like a dance that you can do with your clients, and you can do it gradually here and there. You can either have set fees for your business, like this is where within the CPA industry or with tax preparers, the IRS, they are kind of saying to us, oh, you have to have a list of set fees, your base prices, and have them out there for everybody to know. All right, if you're going to work with us, this is the base price that you're going to pay. However, depending on your circumstances, depending on the situation, we're going to increase your fees. Okay, and that's not because you did something bad. If anything, if Bedrock is increasing your fees, it's because you're making more money. It's because you got more accounts. It's because you're doing more transactions. And ultimately, it's because you require more services. All right. And that should be a good thing.
Elizabeth just got promoted to the accounts receivable billing department. She's gonna set all the fees. So if you pay, if your fees go up, it's not on me, it's on Elizabeth. But here's a true story. When I first started out 30 years ago, when I started doing tax returns on my own, I went to people's houses. I actually did I met them, we did their returns on their kitchen table. I would map them out with a pencil, and it was for a flat fee of $35. Okay. And I said, and that's what I did. I wanted to get started. I put an ad in the paper. I said, flat fee, no strings attached. And I got a lot of clients. Okay. Made a lot of friends. They were all like, what's the catch? And I said, no catch. I just want to get started here. I want clients. I wanted to make it a fee that it would be like people would say, what's the catch? And then, over time, I got other clients, businesses, and I opened an office. Now I have overhead. Okay. And I asked my father, who was working with me, I said, call up H&R Block and find out what they're charging. I couldn't believe what H&R Block was charging.
Joe, you're like skipping slides, all right? But what
Am I?
kind of, because by asking what other competitors are charging, we're actually reinforcing
No,
almost
so
the value
point-
of our products and services, right?
Okay,
But before we
so-
even do that, we want to have simple and safe collection methods. And I don't know if going and sitting at somebody's kitchen table at this point with
Can I
all
finish
businesses.
Can I finish
Yeah, go
my story?
Of course, Joe.
I raised my prices to at least 200 to do a personal tax return, and nobody complained. Not one person said, "Oh my God, how can?" And again, I was happy because I got more money, but then I said, all those years I was doing it for $35. So don't underprice your services. All right. What's this? Simple set? Yeah, don't
Yeah.
hire. You don't want to hire Sammy the Bull. What's the point of this?
Well, what's the point of this slide? I don't know, Joe. You and Janine created the slides, but this is where simple and safe collection methods. Okay, you are not going landlords. Landlords, if you are having a problem with a tenant paying, and you've sent letters, all right, maybe you knocked on the door, maybe you had a conversation with them, and now it's at the second month, maybe third month, you're not necessarily going to go pounding on somebody's door, unlocking the door and saying, hey, you haven't paid me my 3 months rent, get out of here. That is not a safe way to go about trying to collect your fees, especially as a landlord. There's ways that people try and collect money that are not safe. Threatening a client, not a safe way to do it. Okay. Google review is a terrible, terrible, wicked thing that follows you forever. You do not want to threaten a client and say, hey, you didn't pay your fee. I'm going to go X, Y, and Z. A lot of times silence sometimes can be key, or if there is a way to make it so somebody else can collect your fees, by all means, make it so somebody else collects your fees. A lot of the big companies will do that. There are collection agencies for people who.
Yeah. Also, I signed up, and I recommend this. So Susan signed me up for Legal Shield. Okay, I think they used to be called prepaid legal. But with the business plan, I could actually send letters. I can sign. I think they'll send up to 20 letters a year, or they have some number. But I'm like, hopefully, I'll never have to use that. But that's for the price. It's definitely worth it. Instead of having me call it, I don't want to be a collection agent. Okay, but if they got a well-worded letter from a law firm, I think that holds a lot of weight. So
That's true. And depending on how much somebody owes, this is where it has more weight to it. It has more weight to a civil court system, right? Like, I don't necessarily think that you're going to go to a civil court for less than $500. But there's people who may want to out of principle, okay? But this is where, depending on how much somebody owes you, you have to think, well, when I'm collecting it, how much time, how much money am I going to invest in actually collecting this fee?
Yeah,
Is my return
also,
on investment worth it to
listen,
collect it?
the last thing, if they're a good client, if you believe in them, maybe they just have a blip on the screen. I have gone to clients, so listen, what if we keep doing the work, we'll just suspend the fees until you get on your feet. Okay, or you can go to a client and say, can you pay us in installments over time? I've done that a bunch of times because people, stuff happens in life and business, and it's not like they don't want to pay you, they just literally can't.
Oh, so being flexible can really be helpful
I
to a client.
yeah,
And
well,
then you're showing them that you care too, Joe.
yeah, and that comes back to you in other ways. They appreciate it. I have a client that just had to close it. He went and got a job. He said he actually brought his business into a larger company. He does pool cleaning. Okay, the client, one of his contacts liked what he did. He said, listen, bring your business in, I'll put you on salary. So he didn't have the money to pay for his tax returns. I said, I know you're good for it. Let us just finish it. Okay. Now he appreciates that. We will get referrals from him. I know it in the future. And if we don't, that's fine too. But what I didn't do was I didn't create any bad will. He
Ooh.
can't go on Google and say, oh, this guy Joe, did this and that. Yeah. I only have one bad review, and it's from a former outside vendor that I fired because he was padding his bill. So he put on my Google thing that, oh, Joe destroyed my business. And I'm like, okay, nothing I can do about that, but you don't want to have bad will, right, Elizabeth?
No, this is where if we are leading with love, if we're leading with a non-judgmental type of situation,
That's the whole
especially
point.
in what we do, if we're in a no judgment zone, especially with what we do within people's finances and with their accounts, and we're really creating an intimate relationship with them, with their billing and with what they're doing and all of that. So you don't want someone to feel bad about their finances. You
No,
don't want
and
somebody to
if
walk away
you
and feel bad about the service that you're providing or what
if
they're
you
going to get out of it.
if you structure your business properly, you have all the terms set, but you won't have to get into that situation. So
No. Instead, you are able to negotiate and you can reinforce the values of your products and services. You can demonstrate, just like you did, Joe, that we really do have your back. We're not here to make it difficult for you to pay bills. We're not here to make it difficult for you to get your taxes done. And we're not here to make it difficult to be honest with us either.
So
right?
yeah, and here's the thing, and Regina brought this out because it is about those personal relationships you have with people. The truth is, you could have the best kitchens and baths in the world, but if they don't like you, Regina, they're not going to pay you anything. If they know, and this comes from How to Win Friends and Influence People. The guy wrote it, and I recommend the book for everyone now, and especially my students. If people think that you really care about them, paying you, if they will feel bad if they don't pay you. Okay, it's almost like you're guilting them into paying you, if that makes. But and you can't put it on. You have to genuinely care about them, and we do. We care about our clients, and we let them know. We go above and beyond. We assign them accounting specialists. Everybody's got their own not only one, now they'll have two. We just had an accounting meeting. We said, listen, I don't want one person. What if that person's on vacation and the client has a question? So, and there's a company, Newmarket, no, not Newmarket Lewis. What's the company, Susan? I know it's the company that I told my girlfriend she can't go in anymore. Neiman Marcus. Yeah, I said, you're not allowed, you're banned from that store. But they have legendary legendary customer service. And I read about them. They were in one of my
I would
books.
hope so. Every product's like $200 to $300, if not more.
Yeah, but if you saw how they train their sales people,
Oh, I've been
it's
to the
like-
perfume section.
and because it's almost like every salesperson has their own business. And they want to make you a customer. They want to make you a happy customer so you keep coming back. And that's, probably the best way to make sure you get paid and you get paid faster. Make sure that, and it comes with expectations. So let your people know that, listen, not only are we giving you the best service at the best price, we actually care about you. So, reinforcing the value of your products, of your services is going to go a long way. Especially
And
when you
knowing your client definitely helps you reinforce
Yeah,
that. Like
absolutely.
that, and that's where you can genuinely care, right? It isn't just about the numbers, it's about the relationships that you wind up making. And even if you are selling a physical product that doesn't require you to personally engage a lot with your client, you're still building a relationship with them. Even if you are a drop ship company, when they get that box and the invoice or the receipt and they see the note that you've put in there, that matters to them. They do read it. There's some people who are like, the receipt that's left in there can make or break them. An example of that is I sent a necklace to somebody who came to one of these workshops previously, right? And within the box of the receipt, they said, "Oh, thank you for coming to the Bedrock Business Builders workshop, and you won this necklace." All right. Now, before I started including those types of notes within the box, the person thought that the husband bought the necklace for something nefarious or something bad, like called up the distributor and was like, "Hey, I just had one of your necklaces shipped here. I didn't order it. It was for my husband. Why is this here?" All right. That note was key or crucial at that point. I should have done that way before that person ever called, but you learn as you grow. You learn as you do different things that the notes matter.
Don't send people gifts that might get you in trouble.
I know that's, you think you're doing a nice thing, but this is where we do have our speakers, Joan. Before we go to our next slide, I think it might be a good idea to listen in on them.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I've been looking
right.
forward to this.
Oh, good. All right, so we didn't do an introduction, but this is where Susan Sheppard, she is going to do the interviewing of our people who are here with us today. And then we've got Coreen. Coreen is our executive assistant who does actually all of our invoicing within Bedrock Business Builders. She does a lot of the onboarding. She's that contact that is nudging people to get them from doing that warm lead or that hot lead call with Joe to all of a sudden, ooh, becoming a client and paying an invoice, right? And then Carmela does the accounts receivable for Bedrock, and she's also calling people sometimes when people don't pay, right? So she was also in this interview. And then we keep talking about Eldonna, the negotiation queen, right? She is also on here. So woot woot. Before I started playing, I wanted to tell everybody who they were hearing from, okay? Because we don't have an introduction. This is it now. Woot woot. Thank you, Susan, for doing the interviews.
What's an invoice?
So an invoice is like something that you send to your client for them to give you the payment. So I think it's very important for any business to have that.
It's like a bill.
Yes, it's a bill, exactly.
Okay. So when I come into the business and I say, "Okay, Joe, I want you to do my taxes." And he says, "Okay, and I'm going to bill you this amount." Then what happens?
Okay, so what happens is that it's either Carmela or myself who sends out an invoice to the client after onboarding them. When the client
So-
receives the invoice, it's actually via email. So it's an electronic invoice. The client will then see like the breakdown of items he or she's gonna be paying for the services that we're gonna do. And then if he's all good, he's gonna just pay the invoice using his credit card or using bank transfer, and then we'll automatically receive the invoice or the payment rather. And then once that's good, he or she's already considered a client.
And do you have a system for issuing an invoice?
Yes, as of now, we are using QuickBooks in sending invoices electronically. Then some of our clients are paying auto payment, and some of the clients we are sending the invoice and they have option to pay it via credit card, debit card, or e-check.
So once the invoice is sent, how long do they have to pay it?
Ideally, they pay it as soon as they get the invoice, but we're pretty flexible with Bedrock. Sometimes our clients, they tell us, I can pay you on this date, and that would be okay with us.
Okay, so Carmela, do you want to show us what an invoice looks like?
Invoice should have invoice number, which is very unique.
So they're sequential. So every invoice
Yes.
you issue has a different number?
Yes, that's
So,
correct.
so you can then track them.
Yes,
It's easy to track them with the numbers then.
yes. Then put the name of the client, then the business name of the client, the address of the client, then the description of the billing, which is the services that we provide, which is this one, the monthly CFO.
So that's an example of how a recurring invoice looks like. So the one that we set every month, it will be automatically sent out to the client's email.
Do you have anything that you'd like to say to the clients or to anybody else that we're talking to on this?
It's very important to have an accountant who will track the business transactions, the invoicing, the billing, so that you can track how much you earn, how much you are spending, and if you are gaining on doing the business or not. It's very important that there's someone who can monitor your business.
Hello to everyone, and thank you for being part of Bedrock's family and community. And we're always here to help you out if you need anything with your business. And yeah, we're also definitely sure you're there when we need something also, like documents, files, or even invoice payments.
So tell me, what exactly is the best things you can tell us about negotiating?
The one thing that most people don't do is when you're getting ready to do a negotiation is to prepare in advance. That means doing some research, planning your strategy, what you're going to ask, what your bottom line is, what your walk away point is.
What kind of suggestions do you have about getting paid now?
I hate chasing money. And the important thing is to set some terms and conditions up front, making sure a lot of times you need a contract or an agreement in place, especially for the speaking side of things. I always do that. If I'm going to speak somewhere, you're going to pay me this much up front, you're going to pay me this much on the day. And if there's any confusion, they need to tell me up front. We need to discuss that so there's no problems getting paid.
Is there any other wise, profound statements you can make to us about getting paid now and negotiating? That
my favorite strategy is stop talking. You have to put out your final statement and then sit back and let the other person need some time to process it. And then they'll come to a conclusion. Now that still may be a no, but that opens you up for the opportunity to continue the discussion, then present another point and stop talking again.
So what's been your experience with Bedrock?
Joe's helped me. Bedrock has helped me keep everything in order and keep all the expenses aligned and all the income. So I know what my profit and loss is, and I know what I've spent and what I'm over the year, over the quarter. It's kept me on track.
It's
do we need it? We should have a disclaimer that those people were not paid,
Yeah, none of them were paid. Well, I guess this is where
including Susan.
Coreen and Carmela are part of the team, so I guess they are paid. But this is where the explanation of that and how there's flexibility within invoicing. There's actual basic elements that you need in the invoice. It helps to have your contact information, their contact information, that serial number on there, all those things. Clutch, okay? But Eldonna definitely not paid. In fact, if anybody wants to support basketsandbeads.com or basketsandbeadskenya.com, I'll put the link in the chat. That's her nonprofit that they do. All right. That might be a good thing.
Eldonna's good people. But what I really got, the gist of what she suggests is to have the expectations up front. Let people know, listen, if we do business, this is what I'm going to do for you. And this is what I expect from you. Okay. When we onboard new clients now, we make it clear, listen, we're doing this for you for this price. And we actually have a contract, right, Elizabeth, like Eldonna said. We say, listen, these are all the things we're going to do for you. You could expect this from us. If we don't do it, our bad. It's probably Elizabeth's fault. But,
absolutely.
And this is what we expect from you. Number one, give us your information when we ask for it. Number two, pay your bill on time. Don't make us waste time asking you for it again and again. But it's always, listen, this is, and I think that's true in life in general, right, Susan? If you want to get what you want,
You have to ask for it.
and you got to be clear about it. You got to be clear. Listen, this is exactly what we're doing. This is what we're charging you. This is when we're going to charge you. This is how we'd like to get paid. And we definitely want it to be automatic, right? Is that our next slide, Elizabeth?
That is our next slide. We do want things to be automatic. We want to make it so our deliverables and what we're doing and our expectations are clear and they're consistent throughout. Because one of the things that those proposals have been able to do for us, Joe, is it makes it so not only can Joe work on it or I can work on it or Coreen can onboard and work on it. It makes it so then all our other team members are on the same page. We're all looking at the same documents. We're all seeing that the same things have to be done. And that's where if you have a system like that, it can become like a train of onboarding, right?
Well, yeah, and it makes it easier for Luz and the rest of the team to do their jobs because all they got to do is go back to the proposal. They put that, they use it against me all the time because I'll say, because we have so many clients. I'm like, I don't remember all the details, but it's all detailed in our contracts. So Luz will go through and say, Joe, we said we were going to do this, or they didn't pay us for this, and that's what that system does for us. It's documented. There's no questions. This way, it's easier to get paid. Whenever it's easier to get paid, you increase your chances of getting paid. And there's a lot, especially now, everything is automated. So you want to use that automation in all parts of your business when you can. Okay.
Why is nobody talking? Is that just me? Is there silence in the?
I just finished the last slide.
Oh
I was doing what Eldonna said. You just stopped talking.
Oh man, well that was like killing me for a second, that silence. And I guess that's what business owners have to go through is a little bit of silence. They have to have that patience during the onboarding or before they're going to pay the invoice. And we talked about those terms, paid up front. Did we talk about 30 days, 60 days, 90 days?
No, we didn't talk about those kinds of terms.
We didn't. So if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, now is the time to ask them. However, Joe, that was not our last slide. We do have one
Oh,
more. It is about being part of Bedrock Business Builders and joining our affiliate program where you can refer people and then earn 15% commission for the first year, right? But this is where those terms and conditions are subject to change. They have changed before, but this is where they are right now. And it's a contract that you can sign. We do have a link for it. And it's something that a fair amount of people rely on, right? We have people who are part of our affiliate program. They're getting pretty healthy checks at this point because
Yeah.
they are working with us and we have a system that's been automated. When you have an affiliate program, it's almost impossible to make it so you're tracking and you're implementing the affiliate program unless you have a standard service and a standard way of making it so people are paying you and then you're tracking the system, right? And then also people can only become an affiliate when they know what you do. Right?
that helps. That
It's-
helps. And the truth is, you know, I've been fortunate enough to get a lot of referrals over the years. And that's great. Usually people refer us without even, they do it when they want to help somebody. It's not like they're just out there saying, oh, I got an accountant for you. They come from people that they're already doing business with, that they care about, that they know is struggling. And I said, why can't we pay them for that? You know, why can't we make it into where they get paid? And because I appreciate it, and there's really
People
very
can only eat
little-
so many brownies there, Joe. Like that was
I
the other
know.
thing,
We
right?
we do send people brownies because for some reason that also releases that Oxycontin stuff.
Oxytocin. It is not a
But,
drug.
Yeah,
but maybe
what I
Bedrock
found
is.
is people also like getting a check. So we do have an affiliate program. Now, I like the next slide.
Yeah, the like and subscribe to
So-
our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we got to get that 800 up to 1,000. It's like a magic number in YouTube. So if you're not a member, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Also, when you're on YouTube, every time we're live, you'll get a notification that will, you know, and we like when people participate like you are. It makes me feel important, but believe it or not, a lot of times we have some really, really interesting guests and they put out a lot of knowledge that we don't have. You know, people like Logan Rankin, who went from an idea in 2013 to be financially free. And today, not only is he financially free, it's 8 years late. No, now it's 9 years. Okay, I think we talked, it wasn't that long ago, but 2013 and now it's 2022, that's 9 years. He's worth over $200 million now. And he tells us exactly how he did it in the YouTube interview. So we interview a lot of interesting people. Also, we put up a lot of our own information about current, you know, issues like the credit card thing, the 1099 thing. There's a lot of stuff going on. One of our most watched videos was the one about the 87,000 IRS agents that they're hiring, which is going to affect everyone. So, you know, and that's what we're gearing our clients up for. So I know Regina's got a whole record keeping system. I wish we might interview you so you can show everybody how. No? Okay. Maybe I'll just come there and take pictures of it, because what she does, you want to really, it mirrors what I do digitally, what we want to do digitally. So that's the YouTube channel. Do we have
I
another
think
slide?
Vet has a question. We do not.
Yes, if anybody has questions now, we are.
Yep, I just subscribed. Cool. Thank you for that. I'll support. My question is, if with like these W-9 forms that we have to give to people, can we just do one? Is there one that's populated where we can just put the information in digitally, or?
You can, so we will send you, if we haven't already, we'll send you a PDF form that's fillable.
Okay.
And then, you know, can they sign it electronically, Elizabeth? We should have that ability.
The PDF forms for those
vendors.
documents for the vendors. This is where we give you the PDF and then you'd have to upload it into your company's
so here's the
DocuSign
important
form to
thing.
get the signatures.
You
to
should get
digitally.
their signatures. For us, we just want the information. You should have the, you know, anything, any tax form that says signature on the bottom, you should get that. But to be honest with you, the IRS isn't going to be looking for your W-9 form with the signature. They're more interested in the 1099 that those people are going to be getting. And that's one of the reasons why they're hiring those 87,000 people. Actually, they're going to try to hire 87,000. They got a big problem because there's a big shortage of accountants out there. And there's a big shortage of college students that are taking accounting. Okay, that's not just me. I'm getting all kinds of emails about they're raising accountants' rates. You know, they're trying to give them more benefits. You know, they should have been thinking about this 20 years ago. Okay, but the IRS wants to hire 87,000 people. I want to see them do it. Okay. But the fact is that for our purposes, all we need is the form that, and what you should do is you don't fill it out, let them fill, they should fill it out. They have to fill in the name, ID number, address, and then just return it to you. So that'll take a lot of the burden off of you.
Cool. And then when I send one to you guys for like the affiliate program, you need the signature and stuff too then, or just
No, that's all online, right, Elizabeth?
Yeah, that's all online. And this is where when you do that signature, it can be a lot electronically done. This is where if you're sending the forms to get to give out 1099s, if you are utilizing Bedrock for your payroll company, then that is where there's a way that we can collect the signatures digitally, right? However, if you're just asking for us to send you the form for you to have somebody else fill out, we won't collect their electronic signatures. We're going to send you a PDF, and then that's where you'd get the signatures back from them. But then if we are sending out our affiliate agreements, that's through our DocuSign thing, and then that electronic signature is recognized.
Right, so
Okay.
I think they just sign up for the affiliate program through our website, and then Coreen will send you an actual DocuSign.
Yeah, then we send somebody something just like we send them the proposal, right? Or one of those things.
Right.
And I'll put the
Again,
link in the
so-
chat.
Yeah, again, so it's all in writing. There's no questions. Also, I have a question, Elizabeth. Are we set up so that can our client just send us, you know, an email from their vendors and we ask them for the stuff? I think that's something that we might be able to do.
So as it stands currently, we have it, if their vendor has any questions, they could email us directly. Yes.
Right, we actually
is possible.
we designed a letter that we're blaming ourselves. We're like, okay, my accountant, you know, I forget what I wrote the letter. I forgot what I even said, but basically we're telling them it's not because of our client needs this, we need it. We need it because the IRS is asking for it. And if you have any questions, then they can call us. So we're trying to take the onus off our clients. But I think I'm going to talk to our accounting team. I'd like their way for our clients to just have a link that they could send to vendors and give us the info directly.
That's an interesting proposal, Joe. I think it's possible to do, absolutely. And then there's a way for us to then send it directly to them.
It'll
That
make
isn't
it more-
necessarily just through our payroll system. Like right now, it's very simplistic to do it through our payroll system if we've got you on payroll. But this is where, and that's an additional service than just the CFO. But this is where if you're just asking us to collect the information for the
I think
1099s.
it'll make it easier for us and our clients, because what we're asking our clients to do is get them to do this and
Mhm.
they give it to us. If we go right to the vendors, we're skipping a whole step.
I know, upgrades and
I don't-
services. Woot, woot,
Yeah.
Bedrock is always
Well,
getting better.
this makes sense because it'll help us get what we're asking for, and it'll relieve it from our clients. So I'm glad you thought of that.
Can we use, like, for me, like collecting rent, can I do that too?
What's that?
Like if I'm renting a room out, I had that question a little bit earlier. How could I accept that money? Could I do it through my business?
Yeah, here, this is the,
Elizabeth?
yeah, so this is the
Well,
question that
Susan,
Bet asked. Can you
how do you
accept?
do it? No, because if you're renting a room, that's personal. You're just offsetting your
Yeah,
rent.
mine is personal.
So, yeah, you just do it, you could do that through Venmo, I think, right?
Venmo or Zelle?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then you really are eliminating the merchant fees as it stands
Mhm.
until Venmo lists you as a business, because someone
Right,
might say that you're a
unless-
business, but
if you're doing like an Airbnb thing, you're gonna get a
Mhm.
1099 from Airbnb.
yeah, and then if you're really doing an Airbnb thing, this is where you should make it so you have an LLC for that type of real
Yeah,
estate and
I
that.
think what Vet is doing is she just wants to offset her rent, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so just keep it personal.
Okay.
Question though.
So do I need to bookkeep that then?
No,
Okay.
no, we stay out of your personal life.
Okay, gotcha. That's that clarity. Thank you so much.
Do you know that I have a separate account for the rental stuff?
Yeah, but you have rental properties.
Not, well,
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do,
we
Susan. It's
report the
considered,
rent
yeah.
On your
Okay.
tax return.
okay.
You're part of the, yeah, I shouldn't tell anybody
Do you have to
that.
file a personal then too or no?
No.
Okay, just
If-
business.
If it's, so the thing is, it's like, Susan has her grandchildren staying with her. And if they were paying rent, it's not a rental property. It's like, they're just giving her money to stay in her place. That's personal.
Also, you have to be careful when you are collecting rent as a business for a piece of property that is not multi-dwelling, okay? Or it's not zoned to be a rental, or it's not zoned to be commercial property, right? This is where it's definitely you renting out a room and you and your roommate sharing it. That's just a personal expense. You're not making a business out of that. You're not necessarily profiting off of that in a business capacity. Right? But this is where if you have rental property that you are profiting off of and it is run like a business, then it goes into your business. And that's that's what's a distinguishing factor within that. And the reason why you want to keep just renting out a room with a roommate as personal as opposed to business is because it's liability. Right?
Well,
It has to do
also,
with
it is, the nature of it is, it is personal.
Mhm.
It is personal. And you just got to make sure that your landlord's okay with that. It's like a pet thing. You can't have pets. It's never a problem until they find, your dog starts barking and the neighbors are complaining. If your lease doesn't allow other people, and that's a bigger problem than what the IRS is gonna be for you.
Mhm. Yeah, and those are different like leasing clauses and stuff like that in your leasing agreement.
Yep, thank you.
That's the real estate, the legal real estate.
Yeah. Yeah, I had already got clearance, but thank you. Well,
You're
that
welcome.
made it makes sense. And I don't have to file that. I don't have to record that as income in any way.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
No, I think that's it so far.
Okay.
That makes it a lot easier, a little less.
I
to have
want
to
to
file.
thank you. I want to thank Belle, our team member, for joining us. This is what time is it there? It's actually 2:30 a.m. in the Philippines. So thank you, Belle. I think Janine told me you wanted to come and see how we do our workshops.
Oh, this is where it's important. Someone asked us for the closed captioning. So somebody, I can't do it as the host, but this is where somebody else can hit that CC button for the closed captioning, and then Belle is gonna get a copy of our transcripts.
There she is. Hey, Belle.
Hey, Belle.
Hey everyone, it's already 2:30 a.m. here, but I'm still alive and kicking.
Yeah,
And
I'll be
yeah,
sleeping when it's 2:30 a.m. here. So, okay, so what, you wanna do the closed captioning?
Yeah, I think I just did it.
Okay,
And then,
oh, that's subtitles. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I still don't know everything about Zoom.
but this is where we're gonna end the recording, and any type of technical thing we're gonna work out right here in the room. And if people have secret questions that they don't want recorded, by all means, this
Yeah,
is where it
also
stays in the room.
we have a couple of our students here, so thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, you don't get extra credit, but you do.
What are you talking about, Joe? There is extra credit. I remember that they're
okay.
here, right? They get marked as
Okay.
favorites. Yay, hearts.
I'm obviously not